Well, hello and welcome to another edition of On the Ice, brought to you by Case Financial Group, Doak Spoke Fuels, Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, and of course our friends at Toby Hockey. Tonight's guest we had to catch up with a little bit early, so at the time of this airing Thursday evening, thank you for watching. Of course, Mr. Joshua Ross, the founder and owner of PhD Best of Best Hockey Series, is going to be starting up the Throne Challenge, Throne Tournament at the Scotiabank Pond Arenas this weekend, involving 8 teams, as well as we're going to talk to Josh about the Best of Best series, how it's all put together, some of the intricacies that will go on with the 4 teams regionally, and the vision and what he looks forward to seeing, not only including teams that have been or years that have been involved so far, 2010 and 2011, but beyond, as it's a 4-year program that he's instilled. So, without further delay, please welcome Mr. Joshua Ross, PhD Best of Best founder and founder and owner to On the Ice. As promised, Joshua Ross here, located somewhere in southern Ontario, I'm guessing, Josh?
Bowmanville, Ontario right now, yes.
Okay, so I don't have my map in front of me. Whereabouts is that?
It's about 45 minutes east of Toronto.
45 minutes east of Toronto, so almost towards Buffalo. Is that correct?
No, east. So that would be towards Kingston, Montreal. And we are about, if anyone knows Oshawa, Ontario, we're about 15 minutes east going towards Kingston on the 401.
So the Generals and the Frontenacs.
That's correct.
There we go. Josh, welcome to On the Ice. Give us a little bit of a quick rundown of what would be on the back of your hockey card, if you will, of who Joshua Ross is.
A hockey addict. I love the sport, love the love everything about it, and played myself when I was younger, and kind of with the grassroots and having kids on my own. It's something that's instilled in my, with me growing up, and I'm just glad to be able to give back to some youth hockey and people that love the sport like me.
Certainly, giving back is something that we love to hear about, whether it's participation, developing elite players, everything in between. Give us the origins of what made Best of Best now and where it all started from.
Yeah, so we started PhD Team Ontario as a youth skill development for youth. Selfishly, I had a young kid growing up. We did a lot of development for the 2010s as they were really young. Like 6, 7 years old. We did really well. We decided to go into some spring teams tournaments. We kind of said, let's go into the elite bracket. So first year we did it, we tried to go with just people locally, and it didn't work so well. Really found out quick that you need, and in the elite division in spring hockey, you need to have, a well-rounded talent. So we kind of built a program where we took the best kids from this area. So the ETA OMHA is the league. And we kind of just did some research and some scouting and talking to people to create the best team we possibly could. And then that was in 2019. We decided to go in all the Brick Series tournaments. Did very well, won a bunch of the tournaments, almost in every finals and every tournaments we went to, and made a name for ourselves. And then once you started winning, and doing well, the name kind of grew, and which kind of led into me wanting to do multiple spring teams, and then wanted to do my own tournaments on my own, which kind of led into the thinking behind Best of Best series.
So we've got the Best of Best series. This is now the second year in its existence, correct?
Second year. The first year was last year. It was a tough, challenging year with pandemic, the COVID. But we were able to get it through, believe it or not. So the 2010s, it started with the 2010 age group. It was one age group for the Best of Best series. This is our second year, and we've added one other age group. So it's the 2010s and the 2011s. And we continue to do that up to 4 years. So every age group will start the year after the Brick Invitational, and it will go 4 years. And on the 4th year, it becomes a showcase tournament, and then they fall off. So eventually there'll always be 4 age groups in the series.
So we're building the age groups. We're going to see the rotation like a 4-year program, similar to what you'd see when you get older in junior hockey or in collegiate hockey. An opportunity to play 4 or 5 years. So
yep.
Do these teams change over the course of a year? I mean, do players drop in, drop out, or is it mostly a secure team that plays in this best of best series annually?
No, there's every year, kids develop at a different time of their life. So there's definitely ins and outs for every region, for every team. We do hold tryouts typically in December for each region, and everyone has the opportunity to try out for one of the best teams. And this year, I think every roster for the 2010s, which is their second, there's at least 3 to 6 people that have been in and out per team per region.
So how does this work? Now you say that this happens in December. Obviously, they play a fall winter season with another club, correct? So this is like a second team that they play with.
Yeah, so tryouts are just in December. It starts in the spring. They start up in the spring, summer, but tryouts for each region happens in December, usually around their winter league break. That way, it's not conflicting with their winter team. In Ontario, we have 4 major leagues that cover the province, and so obviously we don't want to conflict with them. So we just do a tryout. Usually it's a weekend, and a lot of the times they're hand-picked people. So the general manager or the head coach of the team, who's been announced previously, will kind of start doing their homework and then asking people to come out to their tryouts.
So it's a team that's after the winter season,
Correct.
correct? So it's not an off season. It's just a continuation of elite level playing for the selected groups.
Correct.
Perfect. So we got 4 teams in play.
Yep.
All regional play or regional decided barriers and boundaries. Give us the mapping of how that works with the 4 teams.
Yeah, we wanted to be a little different. There is a lot of fantastic spring, summer tournaments where it's just a weekend tournament, but we wanted to be a little different. So we decided to do a series rather than we do a tournament. So what we did is, growing up as a kid, I always wanted to. I never understood why an OMHA team doesn't really cross paths with a GTHL team. And I never really understood why, because there's great talent everywhere, but you would only kind of see them in a tournament here and there. But we always hear that GTHL has the best players and the best teams, which I think that's more of an opinionated opinion. And so our thought was, why don't we have 4 regions, which really is the 4 leagues. So we have the ETA OMHA, which is kind of Eastern Ontario, kind of going up the 401 past Ajax Pickering all the way till Kingston, and then you go north kind of towards Peterborough, Central Ontario, Aurora, Barrie. So we took the league, and that's Team East. So you got to play winter hockey in that league in order to play for Team East. And then we did the same thing for the GTHL. So anyone who plays winter hockey in the GTHL is going to be Team Toronto. You have to play in the GTHL to be represented for Team Toronto. And we did the same thing with the STA OMHA, which is going towards like St. Catharines, Niagara, Oakville, Burlington. So you got to play in that league in order to play for Team South Central. And then there's another league called Alliance Hockey that is kind of going towards Bradford, Cambridge, London, Sarnia, Windsor, and we have them as Team Alliance. So those are your 4 regions teams. We have rules that you need to play in those areas in order to be part of that team. And then, without getting in the fine details, there is an import rule, and there is rules to ensure that teams have to pick a good majority of the players in the league rather than only from 1 or 2 teams.
Right. So I saw that in one of the rules that there has to be at least representation from 1 player per team. Is that still in effect?
Yeah. So it's actually 60% of the league that needs to be represented. So if there is, easy math, if there's 10 teams in that league, you have to have at least 1 player from 6 of the teams. And that way, we all know that, a lot of the times there's 1, 2, 3 amazing teams in a league. and they're going to take the majority of the roster spots. But we also know that there's a great talent on other teams, but maybe they don't have the depth. Maybe they're the only player that's really at the elite level on that team. So typically, maybe they're not doing well on their winter team, but they have deserve to be, part of this prestigious event. And it forces the GM and the head coaches to, kind of do their homework, because they need to have someone represented from, at least 60% of the teams.
What's the longest traveling time for some of these players? I mean, we talk about elite hockeys all across Canada. We hear about players that drive 4 hours one way just to get to a practice or whatnot. I mean, this regional idea really makes it easier for a team to get together and practice and kind of culminate into a proper philosophy, a team strategy. Was that by design, Josh, to make sure that, you're playing within a league, your own league, but also getting to learn and gather a camaraderie amongst the same year in the same league?
I think the idea came through, we wanted to kind of see who was crowned the best league. But, legality, we can't really say that. So what we ended up doing is kind of just saying a lot of these kids play against each other all winter, so they know who they are. So you kind of build that camaraderie with your whole league and kind of when you play against each other. So basically you're taking an all-star team, putting them together. Typically, you're kind of within that area because you live in that area. The longest travel time you would have is in the Alliance region. They're spreading between, Sarnia, Windsor, to Kitchener, to London, to Bradford, to Cambridge. So that's a big stretch and a commitment for the Alliance group.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea is always who's crowned the best. So last year, the first year, East won. They beat Toronto in an epic finals 2-1. You know what I mean? So basically, I guess East at that point can say, hey, like, I don't know, GTHL or Team Toronto, do you really have the best talent in your league, or do you not? And last year, it could go either way. It could have, any one of those teams could have won, but at least that group and that age group can kind of hold that crown to say, you know what, at that point, they were the best.
There we go. Being a Western grad, knowing the 401 South, or we'll get towards between London and down to Windsor, almost Detroit, up to Toronto. I've made that shuttle run several times, so it's not too bad. 4 teams for now. Is there a possibility of growing the best of best, or is that basically set up because of the framework of youth hockey in Ontario?
So typically you do have, it's going to be 4 teams. There is 2 other leagues in Ontario. One is in the Ottawa region, and then one is in the northern Ontario region, like Sault Ste. Marie, Sudbury area. I would always, from day one, wanted to have a true representation from Ontario so that we can say who is the best from what region. The only way to do that is if we add those 2 regions to get a full Ontario capture full of Ontario. The problem is the structure is in August. The structure is we do not want to tie up weekends and weekends. Because people have a life outside of hockey and they want to go to cottages and vacation and other sports. So the idea is to get them involved. We're just not there yet because of travel. It's hard to have Sault Ste. Marie and Sudbury kids come down for a Wednesday, Thursday game. Same as Ottawa. It's really hard to kind of ask Ottawa parents to drive to certain regions in Ontario as we move around for the month of August. Because it's 4 or 5 hour drives for them for just a Wednesday, Thursday.
Certainly a balance created for young kids, knowing that there is life outside of hockey, as well as there's the beginning of school happening at the end of August, early September. So definitely a proper planning is in place. Potential for more teams. We'll see. We'll take a quick break with Joshua Ross here. We'll come back and talk about the weekend ahead.
Perfect.
It's getting a little busy right here on the ice. Back here with Joshua Ross, founder and owner of Best Hockey. We talked a little bit about some of the rules and some of the framework that occurs. Talked about Wednesday and Thursday games. Give us an idea of the schedule of the Best of Best after this weekend, and then we'll talk about this weekend.
So usually, typically, each region will have a Monday or Tuesday practice with their team every week in August, and then they have a Wednesday game and a Thursday game. So each team has one practice and then 2 games a week. It's usually structured Monday practices, and then Wednesday 1 game, Thursday 1 game, and that goes all the way to the end of August. So we have 4 weeks. Which starts next week. It starts in Cobourg. So each region hosts a week. So week 1 this year is held in Cobourg, Ontario for Team East. They host everyone for the Wednesday, Thursday. Everyone comes down to Cobourg, Ontario. They play 1 game Wednesday, 1 game Thursday. Everyone goes back home. They have the weekend off. So they have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Then the team will get back and either have a Monday, Tuesday practice. And then in week 2, we move over to London for Team Alliance. So everyone travels into a London area. We have a game on Wednesday, 1 game on Thursday, each team. Then they're done for that week, go back home. Then they go week 3 in Stony Creek, Ontario, which is for Team South Central. Again, then they have a game Wednesday, game Thursday, and that's your series. So everyone plays each other twice. At the end of that, you get ranked between 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2 will play on the last week at the Scotiabank Pond on Thursday for the gold medal. And if you're ranked 3rd and 4th, you play same thing on Thursday at Scotiabank Pond for the bronze medal. And that's pretty much the schedule after this weekend. We do have in week 4, right before the finals at Scotiabank Pond, the Wednesday is a huge skills competition that everyone takes part of. We have a professional crew there that we have 6 events. Everyone takes part of it. We do team photos at the end. So everyone has their photos and they have their skills competition, and we announce all the winners and post it on our website and on social channels as well. But that's pretty much the program schedule for everyone that is part of the Best of Best. Gives you a little bit of, playing against the best players in Ontario, getting you ready for your winter season and tryouts that are about to happen right after that. But it also balances having a life outside of hockey where you have your Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Be a kid, go play other sports, go to the cottage, go do whatever you like to do. But you still get to play at the highest level in Ontario.
The regions getting to see this action is amazing. I love that idea. I also love the importance of value of games week 1 through week 3 to get to week 4. So it's not a team that, has a run of bad luck and goes 0-4, but then can beat the first place team and get into a gold medal game. And then finally, getting the 2 birth years this year and then 3 and 4 upcoming. Are we able to see all of these games happen in one set of Wednesdays and Thursdays? Do you think that's still going to be the plan?
Yeah, so the plan right now, actually, we do it internally. Last year we did it internally. We live streamed and broadcasted play-by-play for every game for the 2010s. This year we have 2 arenas going with 2 broadcasters and 2 live streams. But as we go through this year, we are looking to partner with somebody in order to do a professional job and really offer the best in class broadcasting streaming that we can possibly give to the viewers. But yes, we want to be able to showcase this event in every single game. Last year was very successful with it, and this year hopefully we're just as successful with our broadcasting. But I'm hoping in 2023 that it becomes at the next level, and we are able to really dial into that area.
Just to go back in the Wayback Machine just a year with me, Josh, the pandemic brought a little bit of, not concern, but obviously some roadblocks. What do you foresee moving forward, if any, other roadblocks, if any, but also just the experience for these players and the opportunities they get to have playing in a Best of Best series before going into their winter season?
Yeah, like last year, we saw a lot of the players that were part of this. It was a challenging year with shutdowns up and down, restrictions, leagues getting canceled, games getting canceled, practices getting canceled. We were fortunate and blessed that we were able to get through it. But I will say the development in this, because you're it's not a weekend tournament. It's not like you can have a team can have bad bounces here and there. You play 2 games. It's all videotaped. Coaches go back, cut video. They have a practice. They get ready for the next game. So you're around elite athletes for a whole month. And even in July, when they start practicing and they have a camp and a pre-tournament, which we'll talk about, really propels their development. When they go to their winter team in September, what we saw from most players is they were leaps and bounds better than most that weren't part of it. And it showed. And it's just because they were playing at that level. If you take a look at the rosters, it's arguable to say at the age groups that we're talking about that there's anyone really, better than them. So, yeah.
Certainly seeing it with the 2010s playing, or the 2012s going at it at the Brick this past month.
Correct.
It's just the number of players and just the talent was surreal. It was just, Josh. I mean, did you ever play in the Brick?
Personally, no. I was when I was growing up, the Brick was just starting. It wasn't.
Did you have technology like this growing up as a kid? I mean,
no.
Did you ever think that there would be iPads and like video cuts? And I mean, I remember looking at my chalkboard and hearing the screech of chalk and pens on whiteboards and X's and O's, and kids don't get that, do they?
No, I couldn't imagine. When I was growing up, I was lucky enough to play AAA hockey and junior hockey, and but no, the game has changed in the last decade at a very fast pace. These kids are so much more knowledgeable and have so much more training at their fingertips and technology, and it's fun to watch because I watched a lot of the Brick as well on your streaming services, and I was blown away and how good these kids are and the talent they are and how smart they are. And it was just fun to watch. And it's really cool to watch. And it kind of be part of watching, the development of all of these kids. And that's why what we do is, we do cater towards elite AAA athletes, but we just like to give them the opportunity to continue if they love doing what they love to do. We give them a platform to continue to develop at that level. For future to come, and hopefully, who knows, you'll probably, look back in a few years and say, man, I remember watching that person at the Brick Invitational or the Best of Best series, and look at them now.
Absolutely. Speaking of giving them the opportunity, this weekend, the Throne, not the throne in the bathroom, the Throne. How did you come up with the name and the 8 teams are involved? Give us the rundown of how the weekend's going to look for us, Josh.
Yeah, so part of the Best of Best series package, which everybody in the teams and the players that sign up or are chosen to play in this series is an icebreaker tournament. So we needed to have an internal icebreaker tournament. Just as we know, you can practice all you want, but we wanted them to get into some games before they get into the series, so that they're gelled, they kind of know each other, the coaches can work things out. So we'd had this idea of coming with an icebreaker tournament the week before the series starts. The Throne came up with, best of best is crown the best, a crown, who's going to be crowned the best in the series. So kind of Throne kind of came in with it, and it kind of made sense. So the Throne was kind of used as our name of the icebreaker tournament. Obviously, part of the package, the 4 best of best teams. Team East, Team South Central, Team Toronto, and Team Alliance. They're part of it. We didn't want to, we tried our hardest not to have local Ontario teams part of it for several reasons. So we kind of started asking teams from Quebec and Ottawa and in the US and Northern Ontario to come and bring their best players to kind of push our teams before they get into the series. And so we did. So we just started calling around. The 10s were a lot easier this year because there was no Brick. The 11s, so good for them. But the 11s were lucky enough to be able to tag along with the 12s the week before. So a lot of the American teams were already coming to Canada in July. So it was really tough for them to come to the Throne at the end of July because of travel. So we just kind of started hand selecting. The idea is to have all out-of-province teams in 2023 as part of the Throne to really push the 4 teams per age group to their fullest before they start the week after.
So this icebreaker tournament, the Throne, is the only action that takes place actually during a weekend.
That's correct.
It has no bearing on the series that we'll be playing afterwards. So it's simply just a get to know you, a feeler out kind of thing, but
Exactly.
with 8 teams instead of the 4 that you'd be playing throughout the series. Any different rules that these 4 teams will be facing throughout the Throne as compared to the series in August?
Nope, the rules are pretty straightforward. There is slightly, in the series, there's roster rules, but we also do know that with weekend tournaments, there's also, other sports involved on weekends. So the only real difference is if a best of best team is missing a player, they can fill it. But in the actual series, there's 2 reserve players that they're only allowed to use, which they submit to us. And if they're short more than 2, they have to go short. So that would be the only rule difference, but it's 3 15-minute periods. We're trying to mimic exactly what they're going to go through in the series to kind of better prep them and prepare them for what their, the month-long series are about to go through.
The Throne is being held where this weekend?
Scotiabank Pond in Toronto, North York. Pads 1 and 2 starting 9 a.m. on Friday and running all the way till 6 p.m. on Sunday. The teams are all coming in. Actually, 10 of the teams that are out of province are coming in on Thursday. Everyone stays at the Pan Pacific Toronto. So we have 140 rooms that are blocked in that one hotel. Atmosphere is going to be crazy. We have a welcome meeting for everybody. Team lanyards. The kids get to keep their dressing room the entire weekend. So they feel like they're professionals where they just hang their gear up, lock their door, go to their hotel. They have a lanyard, so when they're walking in, they kind of know that those are the players that are playing in the tournament. 3 15-minute periods. We're gonna kind of make sure that they are fully prepared for their series, and we have 4 outstanding elite teams. The 2010s, we have JDT Hockey representing Team Quebec. We have Myers Snipers representing Team Ottawa. We have Evolve Hockey representing Team USA. And then we have Team North representing Northern Ontario for the 10s. And in the 11s, the other 4 teams we have is, again, Team North representing Northern Ontario. We have Evolve Hockey representing Team USA. And then we have 2 local teams, Everest Academy for the 2011s and Pro Hockey Development representing 2011s as well.
Should be a lot of action, a lot of smelly gear over the course of the weekend. They can keep it to themselves. They only have their own locker. That's kind of good, Josh. I like that rule. Talk to me about, as much as this is all about the players, you have a tremendous support staff in terms of other coaches, general managers, and I'd want to say decades upon decades of hockey experience. What do the kids get most out of that? Having a coach behind the bench that has, like yourself, a bit of entrepreneurship, junior hockey experience, professional experience. They run hockey camps in the off season. They've played overseas. What does that mean to a player to see that the generation prior to giving back and just the road that they've taken might be one of theirs as well?
Yeah, I think, we do have unbelievable people that are part of this series that I can't thank enough. And I think we'll get to it a little later. I'd like to thank some people, but all of our coaches, all of our GMs are so invested in the sport of hockey and in youth hockey specifically. The biggest thing that I want kids to see, like, you're going to see their resume. You're going to see that they played pro hockey or junior hockey, or they're a non-parent, and you're going to see, all their accolades of what they've done in their career. And they're going to get, probably, in my opinion, again, selfishly, think they're going to get the best development and training and coaching that you could possibly get. I think that speaks for itself. But the biggest thing that I'd like kids and parents to see is only a very small few people are lucky enough to make it. You know what I mean? Like their dream of making the NHL, and we wish everyone the best of luck and hard work, and we hope we all see all these people make it. But the biggest thing is just look what hockey can bring. It doesn't matter where it ends up in your life. At the end of the day, look at what we're doing to give back. People are making a career, making a living out of it. People are enjoying the passion they have by giving back to youth and coaching youth hockey and being part of this program. And I hope parents and kids see that there's so much that this sport has to offer rather than just maybe playing the game. The end goal is always playing the game, but there's so much opportunity that I hope people take away to see how cool this sport can give back to people.
Josh, what's the 5-year plan for the PhD Best of Best series? Obviously the players want to grow. The league has a potential to grow, but hockey in general in the regions of Ontario, what would you like to see in the next 5 years?
I think I'd love to continue to see this grow the way it has in the first 2 years. I'd love to see us get to year 4 and really have a big showcase tournament with scouts, both NCAA and OHL, to be able to come and really showcase the talent that is out there for all 4 regions. We'd like to continue to broadcast and live stream this thing to get so everyone gets to see basically, the players themselves and see the quality of hockey that these young talented athletes have to offer. That would be the number one. And we are growing into the girls. We are going to grow into the girls starting next year in 2023. We will have a girls division. It's going to look slightly different. I can't really go through all the details yet because they're not all finalized, but the idea is to grow this into 4 years for everybody from boys to girls, having a showcase event on year 4, and having memories of a lifetime that people can remember and be local. We don't have to travel with flights and big hotels and big budgets. People can kind of stay at home and kind of have that experience right in their hometown.
It's fantastic news. Would love to see the vision and the growth as you've put it together, Josh. As mentioned, the last couple minutes of the show always goes to our guest, which is Joshua Ross. Any final remarks, any thank yous you'd like to give, any more details about the Throne as well as the Best of Best series happening in August? The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, for the Throne, anyone who wants to come out, please, Scotiabank Pond. It's going to be a blast. There's tons of booths and setup and merch, banners and marketing materials. It's going to be pretty wild there. I hope you come out and see some of the best 2010s and 2011s participate in this event, which I think you'll thoroughly love. And same as the Best of Best series. Look on our website, www.phdbestofbest.com. Kind of filter through it. You can see the schedule, live streams for the actual event itself, and come support if you're locally in that area. Would love to see you come down, bring your kids, bring your family, and kind of watch the talent that we have out there, because it's pretty special. And lastly, I'd just like to thank, there's so many people I need to thank, but specifically to all of the coaches and general managers. We got Brandon Rolston, Sean Mavru, we got Josh Bulio, we got Gina Oak, we got Paul Robbins, we got the list goes on, guys. We got Pat Powers, you know what I mean? We got so many fantastic people with head coaches. Behind the scene, we have Jeremy Murphy, you know what I mean? We got Matt Siska, we got Keith Smales. All of these people, without them, there's no Best of Best series, there's no Throne. They put timeless effort of building their teams, training their teams, developing their teams, and being ready for the series. And they take such great pride and the ownership of their teams and their regions that it makes my job easy. So, obviously to all the GMs and all the coaches, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. The parents for believing in the program and kind of understanding how important it is to have your elite athletes play against the elite athletes is only going to make them better. But your time, commitment, and efforts to get your kids to the arenas and kind of drive them around for the month of August. I know it's not easy, but I want to thank all the parents out there, because without you, we don't have anything. And lastly, kind of my wingman, somebody that's been with me from day one, is Fred Zinke. Without him, creating schedules and broadcasting and proofreading and websites and kind of being the voice that I can vent to. Without Fred Zinke, again, this doesn't happen as well. So he's great. And thank you so much for all you do. And sorry, one more is obviously my wife, Christina Milne. She has to deal with me I have a day job, and this is something that I do on the side for my hobby and what I love to do as a passion. and the hours that go into it, that she kind of puts up with me and supports my dreams and my passions. So without my wife, Christina, this wouldn't happen. So again, thank you to my wife, who allows me to do and kind of do what I love. So that's it. If I missed anyone, I'm sorry, but I thank you all. You're all amazing.
Josh, I love how you went into that unscripted and raw, because whoever's watching is going to be like, wait a second, you missed me. You forgot me. I get it all the time. But you went in there, well done. And of course, you can never forget the locomotive that runs everything, and that is the women in our lives, to make sure we can do the fun things we do. Josh, thank you so much for joining me. Good luck this weekend in the Throne, Scotiabank Pond. We look forward to seeing the results online, and best of jobs here, getting us going in year 2.
Thank you.
Tremendous work.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
That's our friend Joshua Ross down in Southern Ontario. Going to have that action at the Scotiabank Pond, the Throne action this weekend, and the Best of Best series happening through the month of August. Thanks for watching here on the Ice, brought to you by our friends at Dokes Brook Fuels, Case Financial, Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, and Toby Hockey. Again, have a great long weekend, everyone. Take care of yourselves, take care of your neighbors, and have a great job out there. Enjoy the weather. August is right around the corner. And get ready to get those sticks sharpened, get the sticks on the ice. Bye-bye for now.
Welcome to Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot Mountain Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.